picking this race up from the very first stroke. It is a good start there by most of the crews, relatively even, but I think the American crew moving out strongly as in the first part of this race. We can see them here. It is power, it is fast, it is furious. 37 strokes a minute, which sees the Americans moving into the lead already. I think together with the crew from Brazil, which we see on the back in the picture as well, and the bow of the number 3 crew from Romania. Very high rhythm there from the Romanians. 44 strokes a minute out of the blocks.
Yeah. Fast and furious for the Romanians, keeping an eye then on Brazil as well. Ana Julia Ferreira in the bow seat. And just the back of her then as she comes through. Postoglione Doneas Pizarro in the stroke seat. So a great effort from them just to get on, have an early, good, solid first 500 meters. Romania then trailing them just over 1 length behind. Romania keeping the stroke rate quite high, up at 41 strokes per minute. Aline shy of Romania. Then it's the Americans now pushing themselves ahead as well. It's so tightly packed up at the top of the field, perhaps with Moldova, the only crew off the pace.
Yeah, Brazil and America are going stroke for stroke. They can't really see each other, but they are dead level come the first timing mark. Just a couple of strokes left to go before we come to 500 meters. And we can see here the American bow, Rachel Land there. She's in control. Slight look to her left there to see where the rest of the crews are. But Brazil, laser focused there from the 2 athletes from Brazil. They are level. I think it is just nothing to choose between America and Brazil at this stage. 500 meters gone and just 1/100th separating 2 crews, America and Brazil.
In the USA, Shannon Kearney in the stroke seat, Rachel Landa in the bow. Shannon Kearney, well, her mother is a 3-time Olympian. 3-time Olympian. She rode in the 1992 Summer Olympics in the Coxless 4, where she took silver, in the 96 Summer Olympics, and in the 2000 Summer Olympics, where she rode in the 8. She rode in the women's 8 back in 96 as well. Loads of world championship titles to her name as well, some 8 championship titles. So certainly her wisdom, her experience, her passion, helping the USA lead along just a bit. Shannon Kearney in the stroke seat, Rachel Landa in the bow.
Yeah, we can see the 2 athletes from America just now as we get a more overview shot there. We see Romania still in the mix, and after a fairly poor start from the Romanians, I think they're moving into the lead. Romania from one of the center lanes, they were one of the quicker crews to get into this B final, and they are now leading by about a canvas over the crew from America, now in 2nd position, with Brazil slipping back into 3rd, and the crew from Moldova behind the first 3 crews there.
Absolutely incredible. Up at the top of the field, the Romanians, such proficient sweep rowers on the women's side, so not surprising to see at the junior level them edge their bow out ahead and overhaul the Romanians. It was a big early stage of the race for Brazil. They've slipped back into 3rd, but really still in good touch. Moldova just off the pace behind them. That's a look at this combination from Brazil. Ana Julia Ferreira in the bow seat, following the rhythm set by teammate Lara Postoglione Doneas Pizarro in the stroke. Romania holds, the USA running 2nd with a really close Brazil.
Yeah, fantastic rhythms being set there. All crews now well into their mid-race pace, and this is the place where you start to make the difference, where you can walk away. Most of the times the start is just, it's nice to be up on the start, but the real difference is to be made in the middle kilometer of this race. And I'm impressed by that crew from Romania. We can see them here. Alinkai there in the stroke seat. She is a very powerful athlete, and you can see that every single stroke they're moving together so nicely. It's very loose, it's very elegant. There's no tension at all in the shoulders, and they are pushing their bow ball ahead already at 3/4 a length ahead. So they're increasing, they're walking away from the USA and Brazil.
Brazil making a bit of an effort to push the Americans back, the USA at a cool 34 strokes per minute, so they may well need to bring the stroke rate up in this third quarter of the race to keep in touch with the front runners. The Romanians looking untouchable at this point. Denisa Cristina Alincai in the stroke seat, Felicia Maria Mihai in the bow seat for Romania, moving through this third quarter of the race so nicely. They now have that advantage. They can see the Brazilians behind them, the Americans just slipping back.
Yeah, we can see now the crew from Romania on the big screen. We are approaching 1,500 meters gone, just the final quarter left to go, and the Romanians have really done the damage there to the Americans in particular. The American pair there slipping back into third position, but the Brazilians remain in contact. There's still overlap between the bow and the stern of the Brazilian and the Romanian crews, but the Romanians perilously close to the buoy line. I think they've seen it coming though. They're moving back into the center of their lane. As they up it, they go up 1 pip, 38 strokes a minute, and the Brazilians at 36, so the Brazilians still have a gear to go to, but Romania looks so nice and long and efficient around the back turn. It is great to see them, but I think the crew from Brazil is trying to, well, I think they're gaining slightly.
They are gaining slightly. This combination from Romania continuing to hold, but the Brazilians take it up to 37 strokes per minute, meter by meter, closing the gap spot on. Here comes Brazil. Romania will feel the charge. Certainly they will see it. You can see the bow seat, Mihai just looking over her left shoulder to get a sense of the buoy line. They'll be looking for those red buoys, but they're also looking for the markers that indicate each 500 meters down. So they're through the last 500 into the last quarter of the race. It is Romania, but Brazil on the charge.
Yeah, Brazil doing a fantastic sprint in the red buoy area. Just 200 meters left to go in this race, and Brazil almost level with Romania now for first and second. The Brazilian crew now at 37 strokes a minute, but it is Romania reacting now, 31 strokes a minute, 41 strokes a minute already, and they have the highest boat speed. So I don't think Brazil will be able to catch them, but it's awfully close.
It's so close. Brazil still has somewhere to go. The Romanians at 40 strokes per minute, the Brazilians holding on to 38. This Brazilian combination making their international debut, so tightly packed, the grandstand just next to us, applauding and excited to see this race conclude, as are we. The Romanians hold just by about a bow deck. It is Brazil to come into that second place position in this B final. What's at stake in the B final? Well, it's 7th overall in the under-19 women's pair, which is certainly something to celebrate and be incredibly proud of. It is the winner of the B final, Romania, followed by Brazil, as the Americans come through the line.